For over 50 years, humanity survived by holding a gun to its own head. To stop the Trisolarian invasion, an astronomer named Luoji established a brutal stalemate. If Earth was attacked, he would broadcast the coordinates of both planets to the entire galaxy, ensuring mutual destruction from apex alien predators. This threat bought Earth a half-century of peace. The human race thrived, absorbing Trisolarian science to build a prosperous society. Surrounded by comfort and technological miracles, people began to believe the threat of annihilation was a relic of a darker past. Maintaining this delicate peace required a sword holder, a single individual entrusted with the absolute authority to press the broadcast button and end two worlds if deterrence ever failed. When the time came to replace Luoji, the public selected a young aerospace engineer named Cixin. They chose her because she was defined by empathy and a maternal instinct to protect life, rejecting the cold logic of her predecessor. Humanity's desire to be protected by a loving, peaceful figure was a fatal misunderstanding of the dark forest. They looked for mercy in a universe that only respects the math of survival. The moment Cixin took control of the broadcast system, the Trisolarian fleet launched a full-scale assault. Their predictive algorithms had already confirmed the truth. Cixin lacked the ruthlessness to retaliate. Faced with the extinction of two civilizations, she froze. Her deep empathy prevented her from condemning billions of lives to death, and she let the deterrent system fail completely. The consequences were immediate. Earth's defense forces were neutralized, and the entire human population was violently forced into primitive, resource-starved reservations in the Australian outback. The cosmos operates on a single, uncompromising rule: survival of the fittest. In a dark forest where every civilization is an armed hunter, empathy is a civilization's greatest weakness, and arrogance is its greatest threat. Despite the collapse of Earth's defenses, a rogue human ship in deep space managed to trigger the gravitational wave broadcast anyway. Months later, an alien civilization detected the signal and annihilated the Trisolarian star system with a relativistic projectile. This is the gas giant Jupiter. With Earth's exact coordinates now exposed to the universe, human scientists assumed an incoming attack would target the Sun with a similar projectile. To survive the resulting solar explosion, they built the Bunker Project, anchoring entire space cities in the protective shadow of Jupiter. This assumption was built on a human bias. We expect our enemies to fight with crude explosives. But apex civilizations operating at the limits of the universe do not use bombs. They weaponize the laws of physics. The attack arrived in the form of a dual-vector foil, a localized anomaly designed to permanently collapse three-dimensional space down into two dimensions. Bunker cities are built to survive explosions. They are useless against the localized rewriting of physical space itself. The dimensional strike was horrifying, yet exquisitely beautiful. The entire solar system, including the Sun, the planets, and billions of human beings, melted into a zero-thickness painting, preserving their physical structure on a perfectly flat, infinitely expanding sheet of light. Cixin, having secured a prototype light-speed vessel, managed to achieve escape velocity. She was forced to watch as her entire civilization was pressed into a two-dimensional canvas. Fleeing into deep space, she uncovered a terrifying historical truth. The universe was not born as a dark void. Billions of years ago, the cosmos was a 10-dimensional paradise. Over eons, apex civilizations weaponized dimensions to wipe out their enemies. To survive, species altered themselves to live in lower dimensions, then collapsed the universe around them. Our current three-dimensional universe is merely the ruined aftermath of a war lasting billions of years. The cost of staying alive in this universe is the literal destruction of the universe itself. During her escape, the gravitational wake of light-speed travel trapped Cixin's ship in a black domain, a region where the speed of light is drastically reduced, effectively stopping time. When she finally emerged, 18 million years had passed. She awoke to a dying cosmos. The universe was expanding into a cold, dark, endless void as the stars burned out one by one. To outlast the end of everything, survivors from various alien species had retreated into mini-universes, pocket dimensions engineered to exist outside the normal flow of time and space. But a final broadcast arrived from a group known as the Returners. They warned that because so much matter was hoarded inside these pocket dimensions, the main universe lacked the mass needed to collapse and trigger a new Big Bang. The survivors faced a choice: hide in their pocket dimensions and watch the lights go out forever, or return their mass and face certain death in the hopes of a cosmic rebirth. Throughout her life, Cixin was condemned for prioritizing morality over the math of survival. At every turn, her empathy had cost humanity dearly. But at the end of time, the logic of the Dark Forest failed. Faced with the total depletion of matter in the cosmos, she dismantled her sanctuary, surrendering her own safety to return that mass to the great universe. Stepping into the dying void, she left behind only a tiny ecological sphere, a fishbowl containing water, green algae, and the memories of human civilization. The path of a civilization begins in a cramped cradle and ends by merging with the cosmos. For humanity, that meant finally stepping out of the shadows to let the universe breathe again. In a reality governed by calculation and mutual destruction, the ultimate act of rebellion is to leave a spark of love in the dark. By stepping bravely into the unknown, they ensured that one day the stars could be born again.